This week in GTA Online, we have two pretty fun DLC vehicles to check out that are both available for $0 this week. First up, we've got a muscle machine that's going to be packed with a lot of power and a very aggressive design. You're going to get high speed and solid straight line pull, but with handling that requires a skill touch to kind of rein in that oversteer characteristic it has. And then next is a tuner icon that's going to be built for sideways action. It's a pretty nimble car. You got snappy acceleration and tight cornering that excels in drift zones, but you need to finesse it to avoid spinning out. Today on the show, though, we're going to dive into the customization options of these vehicles, test their limits on the track, and also determine if these vehicles are worth adding to your garage or not. So welcome back to this week's free vehicles guide. Let's jump into things. Starting off with our first of two vehicles for this week, we have the Imponti Ruiner ZZ8. This is this week's LS Car Meet prize ride, and players can claim this for free by placing top 3 in LS Car Meet series races for 3 days in a row. This vehicle is inspired heavily by that late 90s Pontiac Firebird WS6 as well as the SLP Firehawk, and the ZZ8 in this game blends aggressive muscle car styling with some modern touches when it comes to the front bumper, because if you notice, it kind of borrows that front end cue from the Chevy Camaro if you look at just the bumper itself to kind of round out its design. Performance-wise, though, the Ruiner ZZ8 is also very capable of high speed and fast acceleration, but I think the real character that this car shows comes in the handling department. You can kick it into oversteer at high speeds. It's nothing crazy, but it's definitely going to reward a skilled driver who knows how to manage the throttle and steering balance that this car demands. And it's also not the most durable build in GTA. If you take repeated damage, that's going to heavily impact performance, but also you're going to heavily impact your cosmetic appearance of the car itself, especially when it comes to the body panels. But nonetheless, those are some negatives. The Ruiner ZZ8 overall, it holds its own as a fast, stylish muscle car that's perfect for street cruising or even muscle-only race events and car shows. And so now with the official review of it out of the way, let's take it for a spin on the track and really put it to the test. Here is my new and improved Ruiner ZZ8, ladies and gentlemen. The last time I reviewed this car and talked about it was actually last summer. It was at the end of July when it was that current event week's podium vehicle, I believe. And I had mine styled in blue because even though it wasn't the exact same generation of Firebird, I wanted to copy the guy in Longmire who had the older, it's the Imponti Phoenix in this game. He had that car in the show Longmire, and it was blue, and it sort of had like a white or blue pearlescent to it. It was a sweet car, so I just wanted to style this the same. But then I saw actually a 4th gen Firebird on Facebook Marketplace, I believe, very, very recently, funny enough. And it was in like a yellow. It had these like pinstripe designs, and it was also in yellow, and it had like similar wheels. So I was like, okay, you know what? Let's just copy it for this video for the week. So this is what we're rocking today. Maybe I'll change the front bumper actually now, because I think I could make it a little bit better. But either way, let's take this to the track. Let's see how it performs. For those of you who are newer to the channel and haven't seen one of these videos in a while, because I actually haven't made them since March, I usually stop making them once they stop getting good views after the DLC, and then I bring them back with the next update. So we'll continue these throughout the next DLC when it gets announced and through the summer, and we'll probably stop it again in the fall. But either way, we head up north here, we make a right, we head east, then we start going south, and then we cut east again, follow this road all the way, and then we wind up back at this intersection. I time it with a stopwatch that you guys will be able to see on screen as soon as we launch, and I want to target maybe 2 minutes 50 seconds for this car. So let's rev up our engines here in 3, 2, 1, go. And I like to just, you know, go, obviously. This is all off the dome commentary. I'm not going to make any cuts or anything like that. I mean, I could actually probably do it for the stopwatch, but I should make another clip for Premiere. Either way, we just go from this point onwards. So we're gonna go ahead. You can keep an eye on that stopwatch on screen, and let's see what kind of performance we can get out of the ZZ8. Immediately take that corner wide and crash, and we already ruined the front end. You can see with armor upgrades that actually can take a beating. The bumper's slightly dented and deformed, but that shouldn't be too bad for any sort of performance issue or anything like that, or that shouldn't impact performance, I should say. Overall, like, okay, my impression of this vehicle, or any vehicle if I were to review it this week, is going to be a little bit skewed because I've been playing LA Noire over the past few weeks on PC. I downloaded like a modded file to unlock the frame rate and the cutscenes in the gameplay, so now I'm playing it at 1440p and 144 FPS. So that's awesome. I didn't want to be stuck playing it at 30 FPS. because then I would have just waited, or just not bothered. But either way, or I would have been doing it and complaining. But either way, the handling of cars in that game obviously suck, because they're old boats of vehicles, and so this car feels like a supercar. It feels like an F1 car that I'm driving around the track right now. It's obviously not, so I'll try and be very honest with this review. I would say when it comes to cars in GTA, it feels like this thing doesn't have understeer, but it just doesn't have the tightest turning radius, so it feels like this car is trying very hard to claw itself around a corner, whereas other cars may do it more effortlessly. Speed feels okay. I feel like if I were to compare it to any sort of muscle car in this game, it almost drives similar to that newer, what was it? The Dominator GT, the one that came out with the Chop Shop update, so the convertible. Rockstar still hasn't released the hardtop coupe version, but either way, the driving characteristics is like that. It sounds very similar. It's not the absolute fastest car in the game. It still feels fast enough. Stuff like that. I also forgot to set the timer on my phone so we could keep track. You guys will see the stopwatch on the screen, but I'm not gonna know off the top of my head for the review. This is the first time ever I flipped a car like that in one of these videos. I've crashed, I've taken corners too sharp and stuff. This is gonna greatly impact our time. And if you're wondering, you know, oh, why am I doing this in the free roam with the vehicles and not making any cuts? Obviously, the not making any cuts and all that is just so you know that I'm not fibbing on the time. But also, I'm doing this in the free roam rather than on a closed course. You know, I could just make this in the race creator, right? But, I mean, I could also enable traffic, but it's just better to show it in the open world because I'm trying to show the real-life applicability of this vehicle. So we're coming up on the end here. Like I said, I don't know the time, but we will stop it right now at that intersection. Hopefully, it was a pretty good one. I feel like that is about the 2-minute 50-second mark. Maybe with that crash, I mean, that literally took like 10 or 15 seconds off my time. So we may have been over 3 minutes at that point. I'm not too sure. But either way, I do think this car is worth unlocking, especially if you can get it as the prize ride for this week. Is it worth it at full price? I mean, a lot of cars I do like in this game. For the style, it's worth it, obviously. This thing is crashed to all heck right now. But overall, I would say, obviously, get the prize ride done so you can unlock this vehicle. If you don't want it for actual full 100% MSRP value, win it for $0 as the prize ride this week. The Karen Futo GTX is going to be this week's Diamond Casino Podium vehicle. This is available for free, of course, if you're lucky enough to win it at the Lucky Wheel, and it's normally priced at $1,590,000, or just under $1.2 million with the trade price from Southern San Andreas Super Autos. And this is an upgraded tuner vehicle that was introduced with the Los Santos Tuners update in July of 2021. And I'd say it's a fan favorite among drift lovers because it's lightweight, it's got snappy acceleration, it's got high cornering agility, and overall it's just one of the more exciting drift cars to slide around corners with in the game. It does come with some downsides, and that's mainly going to be in terms of its fragility. It's a very fragile car. This car is also very quick to lose handling precision after you crash a bunch. The wheels get misaligned. Any heavy impact is basically going to require you to send this vehicle back to your garage and call it back out so it's got like full health and all that again so that the performance isn't messed up. But overall, I'd also say the tendency to oversteer and roll over with this car when you take a sharp turn kind of makes it a little bit unpredictable in races compared to more grounded options. But still, again, if you're all about style, sliding around and shredding corners, the Futo GTX is going to be a very rewarding challenge for a vehicle to drive. So let's check this one out on the track. Does it hold up to its stats on paper? Let's find out. And here is the Karen Futo GTX, ladies and gentlemen. I think I was able to make this a little bit more of another tuner style vehicle. I tried to match the theme of course, the Conjo SJ. Not necessarily that these are like full tuners cars, but they are tuners style vehicles. So here we go. You know, it's a 3-door coupe, I guess, because that rear trunk really realistically counts as a door in the game, funny enough, if you look at the game files. Yellow and black plate to match the black and as well as the yellow livery. We have just alloy wheels, but I went with some street, I forget, these are like concave steely wheels or something like that. And overall, just more of like a stock appearance with this car. Of course, you have the flip-up headlights, which is nice. And I think just from the way this car is tuned, we're going to be getting a slightly better time than the Conjo SJ. But let's confirm that or not by taking it to the track, seeing how we do. And here we are at the track. So let's give this car a nice little rev. Sounds better than the Conjo SJ in my opinion. It is rear wheel drive, which I forgot to mention earlier, but let's start our timer and 3, 2, 1, go. Let's take off. about the same wheel spin as the Conjo SJ, but already you could see there's like way more power with this vehicle. It's just very apparent as you're driving, which is really nice. I'm happy about that. I'm a little bit nervous though, because this car is very slidey. It's not like uncontrollably slidey, but more slidey than you'd want with a rear wheel drive car. So you just got to be careful. What's cool is you can get some nice drifts. So if you're a player out there who likes to drift around in this game, this is going to be the car for you, for sure. Same with the Conjo SJ in a sense. But for like normal track driving, whoa, we got to watch it right there. See how it likes to just slightly not step out on you in a way that's going to put you off the car, but it's very nice and controlled. But we just don't want to do that all the time just in case we slide right off the road. But it is fun. I'd say this car can offer you a very thrilling driving experience. I don't even have drift upgrades or anything on this car. This is just the Futo GTX, you know, with max engine upgrades, brake, turbo, transmission, all that. It's fun, man. I have a smile on my face. I hope you can tell. With the Conjo SJ, I was just like, you know, I'm not feeling it. This thing's fun. I love the Futos in GTA. The Futo, like the normal Futo in GTA 4 was a thrill to drive. Then we had the normal Futo in this game, and then Rockstar eventually released the Futo GTX, and oh, that's unfortunate. I will be honest. I was hoping I wouldn't crash this car, and sadly I did. So let's keep going around the track. Right now we're 1 minute and 32 seconds on the clock right here. Let's see how we could perform around this. Whew. Okay, that time it did get away from me a little bit. I had to like double take and catch it. I had to brake and everything. You could tell this car wants to, it wants to drift, and it's fun. I'm not the best driver in this game. I wouldn't even say I'm a fantastic driver in this game. I'm just an average driver, honestly. Like, you know, I don't do races or anything like that. Like way back in the day I used to when my friends used to play this game with me, but I can never get them to play GTA on PC with me. Anyways, you know, I'm not like an above average driver by any means, you know, and especially I don't know the racing lines with anything. I mean, with this track I could force it, but like just in general, racing lines with other tracks in this game, I don't do that stuff, right? So I would say that I'm an average driver, and this thing is fun, and I feel like I'm performing kind of well with it, right? So if all that to say, if you are an above average driver and you're good at driving cars in this game, then you do really well with this car, I'd imagine. You can control it, you could do all the drifts without having any risk of spinning out. I'm sort of all over the track right now. 2 minutes, 41 seconds on the clock. We're gonna beat the Conjo SJ. We're gonna get here maybe in the next 20 seconds. Man, if we can get at least 5 seconds quicker than the Conjo SJ, that would be awesome. I feel like a lot of these drifts are slowing us down in a sense, but this car definitely feels quicker to accelerate, and it feels like it has a higher top speed too. Oh yeah, we're gonna beat the Conjo SJ by almost 10 seconds here. Boom, 3 minutes, 5 seconds. So 7 seconds officially, but if we subtract the time from the Conjo SJ, where, you know, I said it would probably be 3:07, 3:08, and we subtract another 5 seconds off of here from all the drifting, like, we'd be about the same. We'd be about 10 seconds ahead. So honestly, I think the Futo GTX is pretty awesome. This vehicle is fun, man. And look at the drifts you can initiate here. Just start drifting to the left, pull your analog stick to the right a little bit, and you can kind of drift forever. Now I'm kind of messing it up, but this thing's fun, dude. Enjoy it. With all that said, though, we are going to be wrapping up today's video right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did go on to enjoy and found the information helpful and these car reviews exciting and helpful, make sure to drop a like on this video. If you guys are new to the channel and you want to see more GTA Online content just like this, including more highly edited videos, of course, make sure to subscribe. Also, check me out over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, specifically twitch.tv/HazardOusHDTV for daily and consistent GTA Online live streams. You can check out my YouTube shorts and TikToks for short-form, rapid-fire tips, tricks, news, tutorials, guides, all that type of stuff, updates, etc. Thank you guys again for watching. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios, amigos.